Hey everyone, it's Aisha White. What if I told you that one of the best compliments I ever received was from a pirate? It was a guy dressed as a pirate selling swords at the Renaissance Festival, but a pirate no less. Now, when he gave me this compliment, it definitely threw me off because, quite honestly, it was a little dramatic the way that it was delivered. But it got me thinking. It was kind of the perfect model for how men should approach women, because what he said was not said in a creepy way, and there was like no pressure felt, and he didn't try to follow that up with something weird. I'll get back to the pirate in just a second, but what I'm also going to do is share a couple examples of what other women in my life have gone through with pickup lines and just general weird situations that they've been in, and also some weird situations I've been in, because there are a lot. But I'm going to share that with you, then circle back around and tell you about the pirate dude. To be clear, my general attitude towards pickup lines is you probably want to stray from them as much as possible, because they're kind of like fishing lines being thrown out to multiple women until someone bites. And in my own experience, pickup lines have never worked on me. There are exceptions everywhere, and there could be like a great story if there's women out there who maybe a guy came to you with a really corny line and it made you laugh, and you're just like, this is so bad, and you laugh because it's so bad. Maybe that was the case and you struck up a great conversation and now y'all are married or something. So actually, if somebody has a example of a story like that, then in the comment section, please share. Please do, because I'd be interested to hear about that. I want to thank all the ladies and the gentlemen that contributed something to this rundown of pickup lines. I'm going to start with one example from my friend Sarah. One that stood out to her was the sugar packet situation. I've named it that, but the sugar packet situation is what happened when she witnessed a guy get a pack of sugar, drop it, picked it up, and went, "Oh, ma'am, you dropped your name tag." And the lady's like, "Oh," and he's like, because her name is Sugar. Yeah. Yeah. Right. It's pretty bad, right? Yeah. I'll move on to the next example, and it is coming from my friend Jasmine. So Jasmine has experienced something that I can definitely relate to. People have a tendency to tell her, "Girl, you should smile. Your face is too pretty for you to be looking like that." And I think it's insane that someone would think that they need to tell you to smile, instruct you what to do with your face. And I feel like I only see Jasmine smiling. So I don't know if she suffers from what I suffer from, but I suffer from a condition that has really swept the nation at a rapid rate. And you know, we could do some work to talk about it more, honestly. And it's RBF, and I suffer from it real bad, like since childhood. And that's basically when my facial muscles relax and I'm not actively trying to smile or smize. When I'm not doing this, my facial muscles relax and I look very upset or very sad. I'm not, like, I'm a generally happy person, but walking down the street, catch me walking down the street, I'm not smiling, you're going to think that I'm very upset. Or like in school, growing up, I hear, "Who did it to you? Who did it to you? I'll beat him up." And you know, the first time I heard that, I was like, "What are you?" I don't even understand what you're talking about. And like, "You're not smiling. Smile. You know, put a smile on your face. You look so upset. You look so sad." But it's like, ugh. And then it's crazy because it's like, what if it's a situation where I really am upset and I don't want to smile? Like, I've been given this horrible news and walking down the street, like trying to, you know, consider what to do. Someone's like, "God, smile, girl." And she's like, "I don't want to." So, pro tip: don't tell a woman she needs to smile, because what will happen is the like opposite intended effect, and she will frown, and she will frown at you. Consider that next time you start to think, oh, I should tell this person to smile. Don't do that. The next one is from my friend Keke, Kierka. She said that often at work she gets the line, "Are you married?" And then they follow that up with, "Cause if not, I'm gonna make you my wife." So basically, she gets proposed to like a million times a day. I think it's interesting, especially people who work in a customer service capacity. They get that kind of thing real bad. I think there are a couple things that are going on there. People see that you're being nice and you're smiling, and so they assume that you're like happy to see them and are into them. It's like, I do get paid to do this, to complete the service for you and to do it with a smile and be generally just, nice to you. Not to say that they're not nice people in general, but if I'm at work, I'm in a customer service role, I'm going to be nice to you because it's a part of my job. You turn on and you are customer facing, but either they're like, oh, she's being nice, she's into me, I got a chance, let me try it. Or they're like, you are behind this counter or you're contained in this area, you can't go anywhere and you can't, reject me harshly because I'm your I'm this paying customer, and so you have to take that. And it's a weird power dynamic that puts people in a vulnerable place, and it's not okay to do, especially if you're conscious of that and you know that that's what you're doing to someone, is putting us in a situation that they can't get out of. Please don't do that. Please be cognizant of that. And I know you come up to whatever place and you're ordering your food or whatever you're doing, and you're just like, this is this beautiful person in front of me and I just need to get this out. But just consider that. It's like this person's trying to work and you put them in a weird position when you do things like that. So once again, keep those pickup lines away from somebody when they're working. Just don't do it. Candace contributed a example too of somebody with kind of pickup lines. She was dating online for a while. Thankfully, she met her husband. She met her husband online, and she's in the same healthy relationship now. But she had to weed through the crazies in order to find her hubs. And so it was 2 examples. She said she was sharing these gems with me, and gems they are. The first example was a dude that was married, but for whatever reason decided, hey, I'm gonna go create a profile and seek out women. So he starts with, I'm married, does that bother you or excite you? And I just love her response. She's just like, oh, well, I wish I knew your wife, because if I did, that would excite me so I could tell her that you're on here. But I don't, and so it bothers me. So that was the end of that. And then this other gem, equally a trash person, but maybe not married. This guy, she was just like, hey, I'm Candace. And he's like, let's get naked. And she's like, best pick up line ever. And he's like, haha. And she's like, no, I'm just kidding. It's, I feel really sorry for whatever woman falls for this type of stuff. And he's just like, are you sure you don't want to get naked? And it amazes me sometimes what people are willing to say and do online. It's something about those interwebs, man, that makes people bold. And things that they wouldn't usually say or do in real life because they're behind the veil of the, keyboard. They're so much bolder. I highly doubt that the first thing you suggest upon meeting someone is that you get naked. But I don't know your life, but I'm going to assume that that's probably not the case 99% of the time. And so it's just really interesting to, probably one of the reasons I never even considered online dating, just because it seems high risk. Seems high risk. Karolina contributed one also, and this one, I think it's like what you think of immediately when you think of pickup lines. Like, if it's defined in the dictionary, that's the example, and that's what's your sign. It's right up there with, I like long walks on the beach and all those things. She said that when she first heard the person say it, it didn't register with her what they meant, because a lot of people follow astrology really closely. I don't. I know I'm an Aquarius, And according to like the last page of 17 magazine, I'm an artist and creative and all these things. And I don't know, but which I still get those in the mail. I don't know why. I don't know how. I didn't ask for them. I'm 30 years old now, still getting 17 magazine. It keeps me young though, so I won't complain. But anyway, yeah, what's your sign? And so it's just it's the quintessential, I would say, you know, pickup line. Don't know that it would, you know, inspire somebody to date you. It would probably, I'm sure it would start an interesting conversation if two people who are, you know, somewhat familiar with that, and like, oh, you know, Aquarius, what are you? Oh, we can't get along, or oh, you know, whatever. I don't know. Y'all have an interesting conversation. So actually, that might be a pretty effective start to something. Hold on to that. Keep that in your pocket. That one might work actually. Let's see. Erica, she witnessed someone doing something kind of similar-ish to the sugar packet thing dropping. There's something being dropped here. It's more metaphorical though. A guy sees a lady and he goes, oh, you dropped something. And she's like, oh, what? You know, and she's looking for it. And he's like, my number. Yeah, I don't know how that one turned out. All I know is Erica said her and whoever else was watching had a really good laugh at it, at that man's expense. But, you know, hey, he put it out there, so it's like when you say these things, you have to consider that people are going to hear you and they're going to judge you real hard. So I don't know if that was a winning line there, but valiant effort, sir. Valiant effort. And then Michelle, I want to say Michelle takes the cake when it comes to the creepy pickup lines. She's got 2 examples of them, creepy in different ways. I'm just gonna tell you the first one, and hope that person maybe like has there's a restraining order actively against them or something. There was someone who she worked with, and they messaged her online and was like, I want to hold your cold dead body. So that's concerning, and I'm gonna tell you now that that's not an effective way to express interest in someone. It's to imply that you want them dead and you want to like enjoy them post-mortem. So that's just, you don't want to say things like that because that's really, really unsettling. And then the next example that she gave was that she was attending, there's a comic book convention, really just pop culture convention that happens here in Georgia called Dragon Con, and she was attending it one year, and a man came up to her and let her know that she was really beautiful, and then he proceeded to go get his wife, bring her back, and they both admired her beauty just as she stood there. And like that is awkward is what it is. No, it doesn't even like reach the level of I want your cold dead body, but it's up there with discomfort. So once again, maybe stray away from these things. No one's immune to it. Guys get these lines too. My older brother, he had been working out with my younger brother, and he was put in a situation where there was somebody who's hitting on him in mid-workout, and they brought him a super heavy weight and was like, here you go. And he's like, I'm sorry, what? What's going on? And they're like, you just do this. This is going to be an effective workout. And he's like trying to go along with it, but also being like, who are you and why are you here? And he ended up injuring himself because he was in the middle of a workout and was not prepared to get this super heavy weight. Because this person was like, yeah, we're going to get you there. We're going to get you there. And it was like, sir, people just come over and just give you unsolicited advice about how you should be doing something in your form. Oh yeah, you're just like, it's the Wild West out there at a gym. There's no rules, except not to drop the weights. They'll ring the alarm if you do that. I also have examples of a couple things that have happened to me personally. I found this running list that I had. I totally forgot about it about a year ago. It just seemed like I was being bombarded with very strange lines and things that people were saying. I was just like, I need to document these things. I can't just let these float away. And so I opened up the Notepad app and and titled it The Creativity of Man. And it's just like this running list of ridiculous things that have been said to me. And a lot of things have been said since then, and that totally should have been documented, but I forgot that I even had it. So what I'm going to do is read a couple examples, and I'm going to poorly reenact these scenarios for you. In this situation, really in all three situations, you're Aisha and I'm a dude. And so in example one, I'm going to do in an outdoor recreation store. You're Aisha, you walk in and you're looking for stuff. Okay, you ready? Are you the outdoor type? You don't look like the type that would like that. You look all... I'm fascinated by you. You know what? Why don't I give you my number? I want to talk about it. Can you guess what the response to that was? It was a no. It was a resounding no. For so many reasons. It was like, sir, I have a right to be here. Women can't be in an outdoor recreation. So I don't know, it was like a bass pro or like a Gander Mountain or something like that. And to be fair, I probably was purchasing something for a guy in my life, but doesn't matter. It's absolutely ridiculous to be like, what are you doing here? You don't look like that. You don't look like that. What do I look like? What does that even mean? And so just no time for it. I got no time for it. Scenario 2, once again, you'll be Aisha. I'm the dude. We're in Walmart, which, you know, every great story starts with I was in Walmart. Really. But you're walking ahead of me, I'm behind you, I see you, and I'm trying to run and catch up with you. So, can I please get your autograph? And you're like, what? And turn around and like, can I get your autograph? And maybe your number too? Hey, it was creative. I'd never heard it before. I laughed, I chuckled because I was like, oh, alright, that's different. Like, I appreciate the effort, sir. But it was a no. It was a no for that one too. And then the third scenario kind of is a callback to this whole sugar situation, like the dropping of the sugar packet, and it seems like it comes along with a specific age group or something. This idea of incorporating sugar into these lines, like, you know, girl, I know your name must be Sugar because you sure is sweet, or something along those lines. It just seems like older gentlemen come around and say that, the same ones that are like, are you married? Okay, you look sweet like sugar. This one, in this scenario, again, I'm an elderly dude, and I am in front of you, Aisha. I'm at the ATM, got a transaction going. It's starting to drizzle a little bit, and you're standing behind me waiting for me to be done. So, you know, I'm like, got money. Oh. Sugar melts in water, so don't stay out too long. He wants to let me know that sugar melts in the water. What do you say to that? I'm like, oh, it took a second. I was like, okay, thank you. It's an odd thing to say. I think these are pretty tame though. There are some things that have been said that really I just don't want to repeat, because it's like really lewd stuff, and that's where it's, you know, these I can look back at and kind of laugh, but they weren't particularly scary. Why don't we take it back to the pirate now? This pirate who gave me this awesome compliment and just made me really think, you know, about life. I'm just kidding. No, he made me think everyone should be made to feel the way that I felt, except the part where I felt awkward. Let me explain. I should probably explain. So, okay. Me and my boyfriend at the time, we were at Renaissance Festival, and there's different artisans there who hand make items. And there are a couple of different vendors who sell swords, battle ready swords, because you never know when you'll need to grab the sword off the wall and go battle. So battle ready, baby. There's a particular vendor where they fashion their shop to look like a ship. It's kind of cool, honestly, looking. But everyone that works there, they lean heavily into it. So they're dressed like pirates, they're talking like pirates. They have like this full-on auction that they do at some point. This guy that is aboard the ship is like walking back and forth and, you know, helping people. And what I'm doing is I'm leaning on a wall and just kind of staring at some of the swords. They have a lot of models. I think I was like looking at King Leonidas' sword from 300 or something like that. I'm just like, oh, that's cool that they got that. I've got a flower crown on because that year I decided I was going all in. Like I bought a flower crown. I got me a henna tattoo because that's cool. And I had like the sleeve rolled up and it's drying. I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm cool. And eating a soft pretzel. And just kind of zen. I'm very like zoned out. I'm just like taking it in, eating my pretzel, feeling medieval, if you will. And out of the corner of my eye, I see pirate dude walking back and forth helping people. Then he stopped. The movement stops, and you can feel someone watching you. And that is what I felt, and that is what was happening. That was the awkward part. So I'm like chewing pretzel and like, is he looking at? Yes, he is. And now we're making eye contact. And the first thing that came to my mind was, he sees the henna tattoo. He's gonna ask me about it because it's a reference to Doctor Who. Even nerdy. This story gets just increasingly nerdier, but it was a reference to Doctor Who, and it said Bad Wolf on there. And out of context, people would be like, "What's happening there?" So I was like, "Oh, he sees it," and I'm getting ready to explain. But that's not what he's there for. And he looks, you know, we make our eye contact, and he goes, "My God, you're beautiful." I was unprepared for that because I'm like, oh, the tattoo, yeah, and he said that, and I was like, oh, like in my brain I had to make that switch, and I was like, how do I react? And so what I did was I just continued to chew the soft pretzel, and my eyes shifted from him over to my boyfriend, and in my head I was like, did he just hear that? And I was like, what do I do here? It was just awkward. And my boyfriend was never the jealous type, but it was hilarious to see the look on his face, and it was just like, did I just hear did he just say that? Like, I think I'm hearing this correct. And he just looks at me, and I look at him, and my eyes were saying, help me. And he was like, let's go. And he grabs my hand. Pirate guy. It's like, you stopped me in my tracks. We're like on our way out, and he has to get past us, so he kind of scooches past us to go to the other side and do his job and sell swords. And he's just like, excuse me, beautiful lady, and like goes through and goes on his merry way. And I was like, that's the best thing ever. Like, if someone can, if you imagine, I don't know, in one of these scenarios, instead of dropping sugar packets and being like, oh, here you go, if they instead said what they were thinking in terms of how they, you know, they recognize your beauty. What he did was awkwardly compliment me. It was very dramatic about it. It's what he did. But there were positives in that. He didn't say anything physical. It was just like, you're a beautiful person. It wasn't like, my God, your body. It was, you're beautiful. And that's a very sweet thing to say, and that's something that anybody likes to hear. And then also, there was no creepy follow up with that. And he acknowledged my beauty and kept it moving. It was kind of a model for an ideal interaction, and I think it's worth considering and maybe worth doing. Straying away from the physical, even though, like, yes, we're all human beings, and if you see somebody and they look real good to you, you know, that's, you don't have to deny that, but you don't have to voice it to them, because that's when you get into territory where it becomes uncomfortable for that person. And I don't speak for the entire female race. I'm sure there are plenty of women who are like, no, yes, tell me about my body. Like, I put a lot of work into this. Let me know what you think. But I think it would be wise to err on the side of caution, because you don't know who this person is upon first encountering them. So why not acknowledge their beauty? Because even someone who is like, I'm sexy, my body's this or that, they're not gonna be like, no, I'm not beautiful, I'm sorry, you've taken it too far. You know, like, anybody would respond well to that. Do it tastefully. Treat them like the whole healthy human being that they are, rather than sexualizing them and treating them like an object that's only there to be ogled. That's my biggest tip that I can give anybody. I think it's pretty obvious, but clearly it's not obvious enough to enough people, because there are still men out here dropping sugar packets, and you know, and some of the things are more innocent and just like kind of corny, and it's like, sir, you are wasting your time and mine also. But you know, when you get into this, you know, let's get naked and all these things, it's just like, why? So just be respectful of people. Maybe that's the moral of this story is, in a world full of creepers, be the pirate. Be the person who, minus the dramatics, can acknowledge someone's beauty, let them know that that is how you feel, but will continue moving forward without making them feel like they're under pressure to give you their number or to engage you anymore. Because it's okay to give someone a compliment in passing and not expect anything in return. And it's also okay to try and approach someone and maybe get their number, but you have to have the right approach. You have to deliver that line without being creepy, and it's easy to do. It's all about the way you say it. It's what you follow it up with. Also, it's the setting. Just be conscious of all of the factors that go into it. I know it can be, for some people at least, intimidating coming up to a woman, because you don't know what her response will be. You know, there's a great chance that she'll turn you down, and she'll turn you down hard. But it'll make it a million times better if you start with something respectful and something genuine. Just to be a genuine person. It'll make it a million times easier for you, because it's the entry point for you to follow up with, would you mind if I got your number or whatever. And it'll make it a million times easier for the woman or man who is on the receiving end of these crazy pickup lines, if they are approached by a sane person who is kind and gives them a compliment and just genuinely wants to talk to them more because they seem like a cool, attractive person. In a world full of creepers, be the pirate. May you go find someone who is willing to listen to your pickup lines, whatever form they take. And if you're on the receiving end of it, may you be approached by a gentleman or a lady who says something that makes you smile, and it's the start of something great. And I'm so 100% positive that there are so many examples of this. So I encourage you to go to the comment section and share with me stories that you got. I'm sure like it's gonna be great.